This program is brought to you by Serious Texas Barbecue. We take our meat seriously.
The La Plata County Commissioners decided this week to extend the timeline for adopting a new land use code to consider objections raised during public hearings in January. The Commissioners originally had hoped to adopt a new land use and zoning code by September, but that could now be delayed for 3 months or more. Hundreds of rural La Plata County residents bombarded the Commissioners with complaints during public meetings held after the first draft was released last fall. County Planning Director Jason Meininger presented a summary of the comments at the Commissioners' work session on January 30th. While some of the concerns focused on easily fixable regulations, like permitting requirements for special events on private property, other comments express deep philosophical objections to any kind of land use planning and zoning at all. Some landowners have called the proposed regulations a conspiracy to confiscate their land. 2 years ago, the Commissioners charged staff with creating a land use code that offers more predictability for developers. Developers and landowners have complained for years that the current land use regulations are outdated, vague, and lack predictability. The current regulations were adopted in the late 1980s, and several attempts to update the land use code were canned after similar protests. Nevertheless, developers and landowners have charged that current regulations add years and cost thousands of dollars to obtain approval for a land use change.
One of the things that we heard very clearly from the board is, and many folks is, I want predictability. Well, the flip side of predictability is it's then very clearly known what's going to be done. So as you get into predictability, that leads to prescription. I'll talk about that in the overlay. So, well, how can the land use code provide certainty through the development process while concurrently addressing the issues that the public has or that neighbors may have?
The new code proposes to use zoning to identify what kinds of development can occur and where. Zoning is based on existing uses in a given area and access to water, sewer, and transportation infrastructure. Development zones are not set in stone. Landowners can apply for a zoning change if they want to change the use of their property. Meininger assured the Commissioners that staff had listened to residents' concerns and are willing to make changes to the code. But ultimately, it will be up to the Commissioners to provide direction and to make the tough philosophical decisions that weigh a property owner's right to do as he pleases with his land against the impacts on neighbors, the environment, the county infrastructure, and eventually the county budget. Meininger said that it will take county staff at least 3 months to rewrite the plan after the Commissioners give them directions to proceed. To follow developments on the land use plan, visit co.laplata.co.us.